What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Dawn of War Winter Assault, the first expansion of the Dawn of War series, where it doesn't really continue off from the first Dawn of War playlist that we attended to. Instead, it continues with a completely different story, completely different planet, completely different setup, but overall, the basics are the same, where we have now 5 races that we can play with. And with the campaign, it is split off into 4 factions this time, instead of just focusing on the one faction being the Space Marines. However, in this one, we get to play with the Order side, and we get to play with the Disorder side. As you can see, it is split off between Orcs and Chaos on the right, and the Imperials and the Eldar on the left side. Now, it should be noted that in this campaign, you are going to be seeing the Space Marines, but we don't actually get to play with the Space Marines, and I think it was their way of saying that the first campaign focused on the Space Marines, and in this campaign, you will get to play with the Imperial Guard, who was just a NPC faction in the first Dawn of War. So, it should be noted that before we start that this is a relatively short campaign with regards to the amount of missions that you have. But the levels can be pretty long and sometimes tedious. As you can see, there are only 5 missions, and this is per side. So, during some of the missions, you're going to see that we get to play with both sides, Imperial and Eldar, or Orc and Chaos, with later on something interesting happening in the end. So, we are going to be starting with the Forces of Order, and difficulty insane once again. So, let's get started.
Another world, another victory in the making for our glorious Emperor.
I see no victory here. I see but one truth, and that truth is war. This world would not even warrant our attention were it not for our prize.
Yes, the Titan Dominatus. Imagine. A great war machine forged in the volcanic foundries of Mars.
The Titan fell in the defense of this world. And the Emperors entrusted the Cadian 412th Regiment of the Imperial Guard to retrieve it. The Titan lies in the ruins of Lorn V's principal city, Lorn. But one thing at a time. We must take the Lorn defense fortress if we hope to defeat the forces of chaos firmly entrenched upon this world. Spread word to the men. Tell them we win this day, or we die trying. There is no retreat!
Alright, so let's get started with the Imperial Guard.
We must capture the following strategic points to establish a safe landing zone. The hand of the Emperor guides.
Okay, so the Imperial Guard pretty much the same as before. Their units are pretty weak and they die quickly and everything. I actually started off with a rocky start. It's better to get your General Sturnn up in the front first, because as you can see, the turrets do very quickly mow down your Imperial forces. So we're just gonna move them back a bit. And forget about that one over there. So we're going to cut the losses that we just experienced, and we'll get to sort them out very quickly once again. Have your General Sturnn in the front in order to soak up most of the damage, as when he dies is just the same as in Dawn of War 1, your heroes do respawn. So, from the first Dawn of War, the Imperial seemed to be pretty weak, but they should not be underestimated. They can actually become incredibly powerful and incredibly overwhelming later on. The Imperial Guard is still like among the weaker units that they have. Morale tends to be a big problem with the Imperial, but you get loads of upgrades that make them a whole lot stronger. Now, the way that the Imperial... Oh, okay, we actually got that one back. That's awesome. Didn't know that happens. So how the Imperial works is very similar to the Space Marines, with a couple of changes here and there. The changes primarily being that they don't upgrade their supply cap from the main building, but instead they upgrade it by making more of their barracks. I can't remember what you call it. So that will be explained as we progress even further. So for now, in this mission, you're going to have two sides, a gate over here and a gate over here, that technically you have to open up both, but we're only just going to be opening up one, which is on the left side. First, let's get our base up and running.
The end of days is upon them.
Field command is the main structure.
Let me lead the way.
You'll notice that the commander can get 3 additional leaders on his side. We're not going to invest into that just yet. We are first going to just get our base up and running. As you can see, Imperial Guard and or Cultist squads are more or less the same strength. But Imperials do become a lot stronger than Cultist squads, that's for sure. Okay, so this gate is the one that we need to destroy, and we'll do that soon.
Concentrate your attention on those gates, but don't let the enemy outflank you. To breach the fortress, we must destroy those gates. It will be my honor.
Not just yet. Okay, so tech priests are the servitors for the Imperials. A little bit more durable than the servitors, but nonetheless, it's just a builder at the end of the day, and they cost a little bit of money as well in order to make. So one of the main problems for this level is Raptor squads from the Chaos. So it's going to be a good idea to have at least 2 turrets per listening post. They don't attack that much on this side unless you clear out the gate over here. So it's going to take us a little bit of time to just get the basics sorted of this level. The barracks building that I was referred to as infantry commands. So the more infantry commands you make, the bigger the supply.
To secure our position. The reinforcements must be near the front lines. Build them at the forward positions.
Now, it should be noted that Winter Assault's campaign is like a tad bit more difficult than the original Dawn of War. The maps are much bigger as well, so like I mentioned, to complete levels can at times take a little bit of time. I'll do my best in order to get through levels as quickly as I can, but you sometimes do encounter some challenges that means that you have to sit and, you know, get through things. One cool little ability of the Imperial Guard is being able to build something like infantry commands or listening posts on different locations and then sending your units around. Like for an example, you take your tech priest, put it into the infantry command, and as you can see, I have the option of clicking on the unit. So now my unit is being transported, and voila! Now I have it on that side. It's an incredibly handy thing to have on your side, and you can even use it with infantry command guardsmen as well, which is what we will be using from time to time. So before we get going, let's get our 1 or 2 turrets up and running.
Build turrets to bolster our defenses and reinforce the forward line with more firepower.
It will only take me a moment. As you wish, so shall it be done.
I will do as you ask.
Okay, and we can start attending to breaking down the gate. And this amount should be enough. If we want to be safe, we can build some turrets over there as well, which I think we should do, because you never know when we might have some unexpected attack, like a raptor jump coming over through this side. So I'm going to build more turrets anyways. And we should definitely invest in these commissars. Commissars are incredibly good at keeping the morale of your units high, and they also do quite a bit of damage. Okay, yeah, let's clear out this area over here. Get a Tech Priest and a Psyker to latch on. It just makes the command squad a whole lot stronger.
As you wish, so shall it be done.
Put them close to this area so that we don't get caught off guard. Keep the requisition high of your Imperial Guard. Fortunately, they are relatively cheap in comparison to other units. And we definitely need to get a Tactica Control up and running. That is like the armory. While we are attending to those things, we want to see if we can capture the listening post. Like before, in the previous Dawn of War, if your unit's morale gets low, remember to press F4 to remove them from attack and send them to the back lines so that they can recover their morale.
I am on it.
We won't let you down.
Okay, Tactical Control coming up. Whoopsie daisy, we don't want that to happen.
Is assured.
Rather send General Sturnn to the front. Psychers are incredibly good units to have on your side, especially when dealing with bigger squads.
Here? Of course. This was once an Imperial garrison. Reports indicate that some of the Sentinels are still functional. We must save that hangar if we are to secure and use the Sentinels in our favor.
Will only take me a moment.
Yes! Tactical command is operational. We can now arm the guardsmen with better weapons.
Yeah, so it's great for us because now we can have grenade launchers. Very, very, very handy and important for us.
The hand of the Emperor guides all.
That's okay, if General Sturnn dies, he's just going to revive anyways. Actually, let's not invest in that priest. Get our upgrades up and running ASAP. We want our Imperial to have higher morale. Damn.
All units, prepare for my orders.
Will only take me.
Okay, let's get Sturnn back. Let's not lose our Tech Priests just yet. Get those out of there.
As you wish, so shall it be done.
They do have some decent damage, so you can use them to help with basic attacks. And yes, Raptor squads are a problem for basic infantry, Imperial Guardsmen. And that's exactly the Raptor squad that I was talking about that can be problematic. We're going to be building turrets over here as well in order to have a bit more ground to secure. Alright, in the meantime, let's get some of our grenade launchers up and running, replenish the forces that we lost. The benefits of having cheap units. And we should get the battle command up and running as well, while we have money to spend on that.
The hand of the Emperor guides all. It will be my honor.
If such is the Emperor's
It will be my honor. The hand of the Emperor guides all. Drive them back.
And the reason why you want to get a priest for the command squad is because it adds more hit points to your group. You can later on attach priests to your guardsmen as well, but in the beginning of this level, unfortunately not.
So shall it be done.
One turret up and running will secure us from raptor attacks for the meantime.
I will do as you ask. It will be my honor. Spare none.
Pull back, pull back. Oh, God, one of those things. Yeah, Defilers have changed a little bit from the first Dawn of War, but they're still pretty powerful. Before engaging that thing, we really want to get to this area in order to get the Sentinels. Sentinels are anti-vehicle tank units of the Imperials. Really, really powerful. So yeah, let's sort that out. Damn Raptors.
Will only take me a moment.
My devotion is assured.
Oy.
Imperial Guard, you have chosen wisely.
In all honesty, let's just destroy this thing, get it over and done with, because this is starting to become a nuisance. Gonna fall quickly anyways.
Is assured.
Oh yeah, you can send them into this building if you want to keep them safe. Fortunately, only one can be kept inside. But you can micromanage, of course.
So shall it be done. As you wish, so shall it be done.
Oh yeah, I forgot that we have commissars.
By the Emperor, it would have done.
So we need to capture the building over here in order to claim command of the mechanized command, which is the machine cult for the Imperial Guard. On the right side, there is another one with a different kind of tank unit, which we kind of want to get. So we're going to see if we can move into that direction nonetheless. Get more upgrades.
As you wish.
Yeah, we should.
Let us join the fray then.
Yeah, for sure we should go and attend to having more of these. Perfect.
My devotion is assured.
Okay, so we have access to sentinels now, and this means that we will be able to take down that defiler with no difficulty.
You have chosen wisely. Let me inspire our men.
Look at how quickly we're gonna deal with this thing. One shot has already taken such a big portion. Like I said, pretty powerful unit. In order to deal with some of the stronger Chaos Marines, we definitely need to invest in getting plasma guns. Before we do that, let's just get sergeants for all of our squads in order to keep the morale a lot. Oh wow, it just literally knocked it with one shot. Shit, that was unexpected. Didn't realize that would happen. No matter, it's not a big problem.
Standing by.
Okay. Just get another one of these. Next step is we want to get here to the center side, deal with the Raptor threat, and then advance further on. And of course, weapon specialization. What makes this upgrade so super important is it makes your guardsmen's usage of grenade launchers and plasma guns even more effective. So we need to get that.
What is your wish? What would you have me? By the Emperor, you will have it.
It will only take me a moment. As you wish, so shall it be.
Perfect. Only invest 3 into the grenade launchers because the grenade launchers are only effective against normal infantry. The rest, invest them into plasma guns. Because the Chaos Space Marines tend to have a lot more of those heavy infantry instead of light infantry. The grenade launchers are a lot more effective against the orcs than what they are against the Chaos.
Let me inspire our men.
That central base is housing those raptors. Destroy it, and we destroy the raptor threat.
My devotion is assured.
As you wish, so shall it be done.
Okay, probably a good idea for us to also build an infantry command. As you can see, we are as a supply capped at the moment, so let's get another infantry command up and running. Whoopsie daisy.
Our forces have made planetfall and are encountering little resistance.
For all we have learned in the last 40 millennia, is that we are singularly skilled in matters of war and mayhem. But how these pathetic emissaries of the ruinous one have managed to wrest Lorn V from the Imperial Guard.
What would you have me do?
I'll never know.
Let me inspire our men. Is that a best devotion is assured.
What happened to... sneaky, sneaky. All of my tech breeds were killed. Very nice.
My devotion is assured. What would you have? Where is his will?
away, get them away.
Shall win the day. The end of days is upon them. Who have chosen wisely. Who have chosen wisely.
Let's upgrade this one as well.
Let me inspire
Everyone else,
tremble before my
move in and destroy this base.
Hear the machine spirit's voice.
There's nothing really else for us to do at our main base. We are just going to be advancing forward and just keep on doing lots of damage. Make sure that our weapons are maxed out. And just move forward from here on. This is the thing that tends to happen in Winter Assault, is once you reach a certain point in a level, you basically steamroll everything else. This is especially with Chaos. This is going to be a prevalent thing that happens. Back in the day, when it was only Winter Assault and before Dark Crusade and Soulstorm came out, I spent many hours playing this game with specifically Chaos. So I'm really looking forward to us getting to the stage of playing with Chaos.
Will only take me a moment.
Chaos has changed a lot as well. Actually, all of the races have changed since the first Dawn of War. And I'm not going to be covering all of the changes in this video. Not like I really discussed that much of the different races in the first Dawn of War. But all you need to know is that there have been major changes in the game with units. And I will cover things here and there as I can. It's probably a better idea for us. Actually, yeah, I can do both. Priests and Psychers. Should be fine. And this Raptor threat is also over and done with.
What would you have me do? What would you have me do? Let me inspire our men. Let me.
Now, one of the reasons why the Psychers are so incredibly important is because of this ability called Curse of the Machine. It transforms any mechanical unit into infantry armor type unit, which means that your guardsmen can all of a sudden do maximum damage against vehicles. Oh, they actually destroyed this. What do you know? They can or cannot. Oh yeah, now that I notice this. Execute is a very good way for you to all of a sudden get your guardsmen on maxed out morale, but you need a commissar in order to do it. I'm asking myself, should I just wait for the turret to destroy them? Should I go back? I don't know, it's not that important. We'll be fine.
Thank you, machine spirit, for our arrival.
My devotion is assured. Let me inspire our men. Wave one.
Will only take me a moment.
Where is his will needed?
Initiating construction. Require my skill.
Our resources are anyway, so yeah, I can go for maxed out units if I want to. It's probably not a bad idea. Okay, yeah. Always a good idea going for max cap.
Will only take me a moment.
By the Emperor, it will be done. Let me inspire our men.
Will only take me a moment. Let us join the fray then.
Also important to note, know the hotkey for repair, because sometimes if you right click it's going to enter the building instead of repair it, and you don't want stuff like that to happen when it is important.
Where is his will
As you
needed?
wish, so shall it be done. Repairs may require some time.
Okay, let's put an end to
Take me a moment.
this area. Let's go and get our other tanks as well while we can. We are nearing the end of the Imperial side of this level. Yes, we do get to play with Eldar, but not from a base building perspective. We're only going to be using some of their units in order to complete the level.
Let me inspire our men.
Lightning Arc can be handy against units like these. If they reach it, of course. Problem with the Winter Assault campaign levels is your units can get clumped up like this, and that can be problematic at times. We've reached the point in the level where we don't even have to go for strategic points anymore. We just want to get things over and done with. Even if we lose this entire army, we'll still be pretty okay.
It will only take me a moment.
Let's see, I believe it's over here. Let's take a look. So very effective at clearing out buildings as well, so... Ah, here we go. That's what I'm looking for, I believe. Is it? Oh, yeah, there are two gates. Forgot.
You have chosen wisely.
It will only take me a moment.
Let me inspire our men.
We've located a drop zone large enough to accommodate the delivery of heavy armor. Prepare to scour the target site of the Emperor's enemies and secure it for inbound transports.
Is
It will
assured.
only take me a moment.
You have chosen wisely.
As you wish, so shall it be done.
My devotion.
This one, however, we need to capture.
Where is his will needed? Where is his will
Everyone
needed?
else
This is it,
can
men. The moment of glory.
actually just go up to the top side. We'll take care of these quickly.
Inspire our men.
It will only take me a moment. I am on it.
What would you have me do? You have
It
chosen
will only take me a moment. It will only take me a moment.
Let me
As you
inspire our
wish,
men.
so shall it be done.
What would you have me do?
I am on it.
My devotion is assured. Our devotion is assured.
There we go.
Here they come.
Hellhounds.
Eager for action, sir. What would you have me do?
Hellhounds are incredibly effective against infantry and buildings. Not as effective against mech.
I am honored that you require my skills.
And of course, we have more supply that we, in my opinion, should rather invest in sentinels. Now, for some reason in this level, you have split
Inspire our men.
mechanized compounds, and one side for sentinels, one side for the hellhounds.
Devotion is assured.
Ay, come on, get all of our units in line,
To the
please.
Emperor. Let me inspire our men. What would you have?
And we've got the defenses on our side as well.
My devotion is assured. What would you have me do?
From here on out, it's steamrolling. This is what makes the Imperial Guard strong later on, is once they reach a level like this, it's very, very difficult to break through their armies because they've got the grenade launchers for high range, and then they've got the plasma guns for the medium to short range effectiveness. Then only specific situations and even spells are the thing that is going to break the army for you. But yeah, as you can see, nothing is getting through, and I'm losing nothing as well. And these are not even the strongest that the Imperial has got to offer. So Imperial Guard should not be underestimated, especially in multiplayer or skirmish play.
You
They also have the strongest mech unit in the game called the Baneblade, which is something that we are going to be having fun with later on.
What would you have me do?
Awaiting instruction.
What would you have me do?
We can do anything you throw at us. Standing by.
My devotion is assured.
Okay,
Sounds easy enough.
I would say this is the end of the first bit.
My devotion
Yeah, the end of the first bit.
is assured.
I'll take it from here.
Now all of a sudden we have a gate that we can't break through. Yes, it's losing health, but we're not breaking through.
You have chosen wisely. Cut them down!
Not unnecessarily lose our command unit.
Nikotsa,
Standing by.
what would you have me do? We cannot survive this barrage much longer.
The Demon Gate is protected by the foul workings of the warp. If we cannot overcome it quickly, then all is lost.
The Imperials falter in their opening steps, far sooner than I would have liked. How typical of them. Sadly, we must intervene on their behalf. Isha's tears. 4 generators channel power to the so-called Demon Gate. If we are to help these Imperials, we must destroy the 4 generators first. Fortunately, we can use our webway gates to reach impassable areas and to bypass the Imperial presence. They'll never know it was we who helped them.
Okay, so now switching over to the Eldar side. Have a little bit of fun with this awesome race. Okay, so one of the strengths of the Eldar is making use of their webway gates in order to teleport to random locations. Nice thing is that they can make use of their webway gates anywhere on the map. So you can use this to your advantage for sneak attacks. You can use it to your advantage for quickly regrouping your army as well. It is by far one of the things that makes Eldar so strong, is they can quickly get their army from one place to another. As I mentioned in the first Dawn of War, their units die pretty quickly, but they do deal a lot of damage. Especially these Dark Reapers are very effective against infantry-based units, and the Seer Councils are experts at melee combat. Honestly, I'm a very big fan of playing with the Eldar, but my heart lies with Chaos. So the Eldar section of this level is incredibly short. We are not going to be building anything with the Eldar in this section. I believe in the second level, if I have it correctly, we get to actually play with Eldar.
They shall die before they even see us.
Okay, hop back into the webway gate. Oh yeah, you'll notice that the thing is transparent. That is because of Shroud ability, which is also pretty nice for Eldar because they can hide their buildings, and only when you get close enough can you detect the buildings. Let's see, over here. We can use the Farseer's abilities. The Psychic Storm is a pretty nice ability. It's that one. It does quite a bit of damage. And the most powerful is the Eldritch Storm, which we are going to be saving for a little bit later. She's got the Mind War, which destroys the mind of an enemy, so you use that one for one-on-one combat. And then Guide is pretty good for units like our Dark Reapers. When it activates, you'll hear that noise that you just heard. And it makes your squad a little bit stronger. So it should be used often.
What needs to be done?
Can I call more reinforcements now that I think about it? Do I have that option? No, you only have this amount.
Nothing is hidden from my sight.
The time for war is now.
I sense the enemy. They are closing in. Shall I divine your next move? How can I help? I sense the enemy. They are closing in.
In the name of the destroyer,
Now that I think about it, I never really spoke about the intentions of this campaign. Like I said, it's completely disconnected from the first Dawn of War.
take us to a better firing.
You don't get to see or hear about the Blood Ravens at all. Instead, the whole focus of this entire campaign is to lay claim to this thing they call the Titan Dominatus, and all four races race towards this very thing, with a little bit of a surprise awaiting you at the end that I'm not going to reveal just yet. But something to look forward to nonetheless. So this Titan is supposed to be an incredibly powerful war machine that the Imperials built who knows how long ago. And the Chaos at this stage are unaware of it. The Orcs don't care much for it, but they have their reasons for wanting to get to the Titan. And the Eldar want to use it for a very specific reason. And of course the Imperials just want to obtain it because it used to belong to them and it's an incredibly powerful war machine. Oh yeah, and Chaos wants to obtain it because they want to lay waste to every single thing in their path. So different commanders, different clans you can say for each faction. And storyline is it's pretty good, but not nearly as, I would say, intense as the first one.
That is indeed joyous news. Be quick, however. The Imperials would neither understand nor appreciate our intervention were they to discover our presence. We must reach the sorcerer orchestrating this attack, but tell the warriors that I and I alone will dispense with him.
Yeah, this is just a way to make the level even longer, to be honest. A one-on-one combat between the Farseer and the Sorcerer. Now, oh, no. Do not attack the Defilers. We don't have the units or the means to really deal with them. Instead, what we're just gonna do, we're just gonna send the Farseer straight into that battle, while the rest of our units over here are just going to deal with them. Fortunately, these turrets are not a problem at all. You're just going to get into one-on-one combat. Use this ability. Destroyer's Mind, which is just basically draining his morale very quickly. Like I've mentioned in the first Dawn of War, the lower the morale goes, the weaker the hero or the squad fights. So that is a very handy thing to use against the Sorcerer. He's got a whole lot more health than what the Farseer does, but we've got other abilities to our advantage, like especially the Eldritch Storm, which I will demonstrate just now. Now, this is not a very good ability to use for just one target. It's a massive waste, to be honest. You use that ability for large groups of units. But yeah, this fight is gonna take a while. Like I said, this is just literally to make us stay in this level a little bit longer. Sorcerers are not usually this strong health-wise, so don't get excited as a Chaos player thinking that you can invest in a Chaos Sorcerer, and don't think that the Farseer is going to just easily overpower a Sorcerer like this.
Nothing is hidden from my sight.
Anyways, we can let that go on for the mean. Ah, come on.
Space and time retreat from my
Wrong move.
I sense the enemy. They are closing in.
lies with us. Our minds were now our paths cross our enemies.
Yeah, let's just go and get some entertainment while they battle.
I knew you would have me. The mists of space and time retreat from my mind.
Our path. Now our paths cross our enemies. Fear the
The
judgment of the
future seems so
council.
clear.
The time for war
The
is
mist of space and
now.
time retreat from my mind.
Walk our path. The time for war is now.
Shall I divine your next move?
At least she's making progress.
Burden of leadership lies with us. Now our paths cross our enemies. Fear the judgment of the council. Now our paths cross our enemies.
Nothing is hidden from my sight.
The burden of leadership lies with us. Concentrating all energy on the enemy. Fear the judgment of the council. The burden of leadership lies with us. Fear the judgment of
One
the council.
annoying aspect that I
Now our paths
think
cross
comes
our
with tampering with the resolution of this game. This game doesn't actually support HD 1920 by 1080. So you have to go and tamper with settings in order to get the HD view.
Naturally.
However, I think the price that you pay as the map gets a little bit cut off, as you can see that I cannot see everything on the
Shall I
map.
divine your next move?
It's not the greatest of problems, to be honest. You actually get used to it very quickly, but it sometimes does mean that you can't see everything that goes on the map. So it's completely depending on your taste of how you like to play these kinds of games. But the view for me is just a little bit too close if you play it on the default settings.
Our enemies. We are
How
ready
can I
to
help?
strike.
Yay, almost done. In case you didn't know, you can zoom in pretty deep.
The burden of leadership lies
There a
with
fight?
us.
Yay, there's
The
more.
time for war is now.
I knew you would have need of me.
The burden of leadership lies with us.
Naturally.
Oh, we have combat or defensive advantages as well.
I knew you would have need
The
of me.
time for war is now.
I sense the enemy. They are closing in.
We walk our path. Concentrating all energy on the enemy is now.
My powers are yours
We
now.
walk our
Almost
path.
done.
Concentrating all energy on the enemy. Incoming enemy. We
Oh,
are ready to
wow.
strike.
I sense the enemy. They are closing in.
Fear the judgment of the council. Now our paths cross our enemies. We are needed
My
elsewhere
powers
to
are
direct the
yours
course
now.
of this battle.
Bye-bye.
Where's our fire support?
Warming up the engine, my lord.
You have chosen wisely.
Okay, quickly select all of our units and
Attack!
let's finish this up.
Wisely.
Warming up the engine, my lord.
You have chosen wisely. You have chosen.
We have to go and fight all the units that the Eldar couldn't take care of, except for the turrets for some reason. Doesn't bother me by much though.
Devotion is assured.
We can handle anything you throw at us.
My devotion is assured. What would you have me do?
Yeah, we have to go and take care of those defilers. That's what it is about. Okay, let's make use of our Curse of the Machine Spirits. There we go, and as you can see, it's now changed to heavy infantry. So this thing is going to be especially taking a lot of damage from plasma fire. A lot from the Hellhounds, but a lot less from the Sentinel. So it's something that you use only when you really, really have to.
My devotion is assured. My devotion is assured.
Oh, it's not forever, by the way.
You have chosen wisely. Cut them down! You have chosen wisely. Attack, men! Attack! Let me inspire our men! You
why they would want to charge a defiler, I don't know. But they want to. And that should be mission accomplished.
My devotion is assured.
Standing by.
What would you have me do? My devotion is assured.
Right. Am I still missing something? Establish a foothold.
My devotion is assured.
Reinforcements forward where?
Taking hits! You have chosen wisely. My devotion is assured. My devotion is assured.
Cut his soul through them.
Wait a minute. Am I... No way. Wow.
We have won, but the cost was high. Hundreds dead, thousands wounded. I have the numbers here if you wish.
We will mourn the dead later while the wounded can still fight. Regardless, we have our foothold and the soldiers left are more than enough to secure the Titan. Still, I wonder, why did the Demon Gate collapse? Whose fortune was that?
The fortune of chaos, General Sturnn. Such is the folly of consorting with evil. The Emperor was smiling down upon us today, General. I'm certain of it.
Only fools are certain, Commissar. And the day's not yet won. There's more to come. But what awaits us? I'm not sure.
Alright, so there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of the very first level for the Order side. And we still have a couple more missions to do for Order, and then it's over and done with. Like I mentioned, the missions can be pretty lengthy, so yeah, just bear with me on getting through some of these levels. Hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Refer to your friends that would like to learn more about Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War, and I will see you for the next level on Order side. Stay tuned.